Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to cover a box cushion like this one. I moved into a new house and I have a couple new pieces of furniture like the storage bench, and I also have a hall tree that didn't have any cushion and I wanted to have them match. What you'll need is to go out and buy an upholstery fabric that you like. This particular project I'm showing you is with a sewing machine. I'm sure there are other ways to do it, but you'll need a sewing machine. And to attach the back and make it so you can wash the fabric in the future, you'll just need either some sew-on or some stick-on velcro tape. So let's get to it. Okay, so I moved into this new house and there's no coat closet. So I'm trying to be organized. I bought myself this cute little bench and I got myself this coat rack here. And I'm creating cushions for both of them. But in this video, I'm just going to show you how to do this cushion. So I found this pretty fabric that will look great in my foyer on sale at Joann's, 40% off. So I got some of this, and really the only tools you're going to need is a pencil, scissors, a measuring tape or ruler, some pins, and of course a sewing machine. Okay, so here is the fabric I'm going to use to cover the cushion. And here's my cushion. It's just the cushion that came with my bench. It's 1.5 inches. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your cushion and center it on your pattern how you want it to be when it's face up. And then what you want to do is take a pencil or a chalk and just draw around the perimeter. After that, what you'll want to do is measure the height or the depth of your cushion. So my cushion is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to draw a line all the way around my first line at 2 inches to allow for some sewing room. Okay, so I've drawn the outer line, if you can see it here, all the way around, which is 2 inches out from my inner line. Then what I'm going to want to do is extend the lines out from my inside line to the outside line. Basically, it's going to create a box on each corner, and then that is going to be our corner areas. Next, what we want to do is cut out the boxes. In effect, this is going to give us the ability to sew these together and have a corner to actually make our box around the foam. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut out around my pattern. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out our little boxes here on each corner. Okay, so here I am with my piece of fabric and my little squares cut out. You're going to want to sew the edge of your square. You're going to want to match it up so it's like this, and you're going to want to sew it inside out. I'm going to put mine at about 1/4 inch on my sewing. Okay, now that the sewing is done, just want to turn your fabric inside out. And you can see you have these nice corners where the pattern just continues from the top over the sides. Let's see how it fits. And you can see once the bottom is done, it's going to have a really nice continuous look. I also got some iron-on 24-inch long velcro so that I can later on remove the cover and wash it if I need to. So for the back piece, it's actually going to be 2 pieces. and then I'm going to have the piece of Velcro running across. So you want to measure your cushion. My cushion's just shy of 13 inches. And then I'm just going to continue on. Now I'm just using the same fabric, but you could always just use like a cream or any color that looks good with your fabric, plain fabric that's a lot cheaper than using the upholstery fabric. I just have plenty of this, so this is going to be my back as well as my front. So you measure this, and I'm going to want my first piece to go about 3/4 over. So I'm going to cut it at about 9.5 inches. Okay, so on this step, you're only going to want to trace the the regular inside of the cushion on both sides, because we're not going over the edge like we did with the top piece. And then I've measured 9.5 inches up, and this is where I'm going to cut. So now I'm measuring the other side at 9.5 inches. And I'm marking that. And then I'm going to bring my cushion down to my marks. Like that. And I'm going to trace along the edge so I know where to cut. Okay, so now you just want to cut out this piece of fabric. So now we're going to go sew this furthest edge, because this is going to be our finished edge, and this will attach to the other piece on the back with the Velcro. So I'm just going to put an E here so I know which one I'm sewing for the finished edge, and I'm going to go sew that. So on this edge, you can pin it if you want and iron it, but I'm just going to wing it and kind of eyeball it. I have this set at about 1/2 inch. Alright, so this is my finished side. This is going to go on the back. And the thing to remember is, because it's going on the back, it doesn't need to be perfect. No one's ever going to see it. Okay, now what we're going to do is you want to have your top piece facing up, and you want your finished bottom piece facing down, so they're facing each other. And you're going to want to take these two unfinished pieces, attach your corner here, and follow this along, because we're actually going to want to sew this to the side, and then we'll have this Velcroed out here so that we can easily remove it for washing later. So I'm going to go all the way down to the other end. And I should say, on the corner piece here, where your edges come together, you want to take this corner and really snug it up so the very corner of this unfinished piece is laying right there in the corner of your top piece. Okay, so I have both of my edges all pinned all the way across. The corners are nice and snug, and let's go sew. Okay, time to sew these two pieces together. Oops. I had the zigzag on. Let's try that again. I have mine lined up with about 1/2 inch mark. When you get to the corner, you just want to make sure you don't have any extra fabric under here that you're sewing. Alright, so I'm just going to keep going till I get to the other corner. Again, when you get to this corner, just make sure all the extra fabric is not being sewn in. Okay, now let's see how it fits. So far, so good. You can see how the corners turn out, how the fabric just goes all the way around, and your only seam is just on the very corner and it's going to be on the back. Okay, so now we're basically going to repeat the exact same step for this piece as we did for this piece, so I'm not going to videotape all that. If you need to, just look at how I did this piece again. And you want to make this piece so it's a little bit, maybe an inch overlap, because you're going to want to put the Velcro here so that this comes over and Velcro's on. Maybe more like 1.5 inches overlap. Okay, so I cut out my 6-inch, 6.5-inch piece here. I hemmed it on one side just like we did the other one. Now I'm going to take it, and you want to make sure that they are front to front, or pattern to pattern I should say, and you're going to match up the corner just like we did in the other one and pin it. Alright, we're all pinned up, got the corners nice and tight and ready to go sew our final piece. Okay, so now I've finished sewing all my pieces, all my 3 pieces. I'm going to put my cushion in its cover. I'd say it's easiest to start it out putting it in the side that has the most fabric and then bringing the other side over. So now I'm going to take my Velcro, and you can always make your Velcro thinner if you don't end up with enough fabric. I probably should have made this piece 7 inches, so it's going to be a little tight. I'll probably actually cut a little bit of my Velcro, because right now it's 3/4 of an inch. I'll probably cut it down to half of that. Okay, so you're going to want to take off one side of your Velcro tape. And I'm going to place it on the underside, about in the middle. And then take off your other piece of tape. And I'll start ironing here. The directions say, I think, to iron for about 90 seconds. You just want to make sure you don't scorch your fabric. Okay, and here's our finished project, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. I have this black rug in here. Let's see if I can get this all in the photo. So this kind of ties in nicely with my black and cream rug.